shoot everybody in here, but I know we got a couple people in here who got some interviews on the calendar who've been interviewing. So kind of update me, guys. How's it been? Marquise, I know you said you had what interview today. You got another one lined up too?
Yeah, I had one yesterday. It was a company called Motor. I don't know if you ever heard of it.
And I could check it. I don't, not off the top of my head.
And then today, you ever been to Kapari's?
Like downtown Plymouth, Campari's?
Yeah. I met somebody there, and I was talking to him. He happened like the HR at a company. I don't know the company. I just want to just know more about it. But
we check that out too.
Yeah,
it was good. I know. I think I saw your message. You had some interviews coming up too.
Yeah.
Let's see. Brandon was good. What's good? So bad. What I'm gonna do is, if you put that company in the chat, Marquise, I'm gonna send out a quick message on school so we can get everybody in the group call, and then let's see who else we got joining up. Yo, we got Tyler in here. 7 interviews.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on, I think you're muted. Hold on.
All right. Dude, I finally can make it on, man.
I'm glad, bro. We got everybody in here. I haven't even sent the email out letting the group know we're live. We already got like 10 people in here. We have Marquise with interviews. We've got, so Tyler, you said you've got 7 interviews?
Yeah, bro, it's crazy. So I actually, because I never was reaching out to these people, I finally started reaching out, and then I started getting I get so many interviews now. It's crazy.
Sheesh. And so we just literally sent LinkedIn, sending out the message on LinkedIn.
Yeah, look for the company's LinkedIn, look for their HR department, reach out to them, go on Apollo.io, just like grind it out. Usually takes me like 3 minutes every company, and did all like the auto applications that came in, and yeah, it's easy.
That's fire. Have you been using the Apollo.io extension?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. Like literally beforehand, we were using this extension called Wizza. If you guys are not using the Apollo.io free extension, and literally it's like now it's one click of a button, you can have emails going out to these recruiters automatically every couple business days. We got the templates ready to go, but I'm glad, bro. The execution of just reaching out to the recruiters makes a world of a difference. It's like night and day.
Yeah, they're very impressed too when you do that. Good.
Yeah, I mean, it shows them it's like you already know how to do the job. So you just are like miles ahead of the other candidates using Apollo and just making the connection on LinkedIn and adding a note like with that request.
Yeah, see, the thing is I was doing it with only with the LinkedIn Easy Applies I was doing, and I would only reach out to those people. I was able to get some interviews, but I wasn't doing it with the auto applications, and I should have been doing that like 3 weeks ago. I feel stupid, but it's worth it now, man. I finally figured it out, and yeah, I was able to get several this week when I started doing it on Tuesday, and then I got about like 10 for next week. So
dang, that's fire.
Yeah.
Congrats, bro.
Thanks, man.
Of course. So guys, I'm gonna share my screen real quick and then we'll open it back up to like anybody who has questions. We got some new faces in here, and shoot, if anybody just wants to mute, we'll kind of run it like that. But I just want to dive a little deeper into what's working really well right now. And obviously, if you have your resume creation call and you upload, you're going to see the applications going out in your spreadsheet every single day. But it's important, like, obviously, you want to be making sure you're using this checklist. But when you're getting to phase 3, so resume's done, LinkedIn looks good. This right here, Apollo, what Tyler is doing is all these companies we're applying to for him. He's then, for an example, if we take this company on LinkedIn, even up, and let's see. So with Apollo, there's a free extension that you can add to your Google Chrome, Apollo.io, and I'm literally just scrolling on their people page. I searched up talent to find like their hiring, recruiters, the people who are making the decision for who's getting the interview. And with the click of a button, add to sequence, I could add all these ladies and gentlemen who are in recruiting, hiring SDRs, who are going to be able to get you that interview to an automatic email campaign. Literally, it's only one click. And that's the easiest way to be able to get interviews. So again, we've got all those templates. Everything is inside the community under the step-by-step getting hired. And like these videos right here, 15 and 15.5, we've got the Apollo link for your free trial. And then all you're going to do is just grab these email templates and you would just literally add them to a campaign. Apollo does the work for you. It autofills their first name, their job title, their company, so that you really only have to pull their LinkedIn up and add them to the sequence. Quick click of a button, and you're going to be ready to go on interviews.
Yes, sir.
And then let's see. So
is the extension available for a Chrome browser?
So you said the Apollo for Chrome browser?
Yeah, I mean the Apollo extension, is it only available on the Chrome browser? Like if you use Firefox, will it work as well? Or
That's a good question. Apollo IO extension, Firefox. Let's see. Apollo Inspector, I'm not sure. I think it is only for Chrome.
okay.
So I mean, I would download the Chrome browser. I feel like Chrome makes everything so much easier, especially with like being that, your tracking spreadsheet is Google too, and you literally can just set it up and like I would make a custom tab or like a custom window for your application process. So I recommend you have like a custom email so that you can have all your applications organized. They're going to one email, and then as well you can actually bookmark everything in your tab. So inside the community, I'll link the video to it from Dakota. He's one of our community managers, but this video right here is really, really good. So let me see if I can grab the link. Copy link. But yeah, in this video, pretty much Dakota just talks about how to stay organized with setting up your Apollo, with managing your applications, and being able to, like, if you guys can see, I'll zoom in a little bit. He literally has like bookmarked the resume upload link. He's got a bookmark for his application tracking spreadsheet. He's got a bookmark for the different like templates to reach out to LinkedIn recruiters. And then as well, like Apollo's bookmark, and it's all there. Same with Ada, is which another good site that you can actually find some of these roles on and apply to as well. But yeah, I mean, I definitely would check that video out. And I would just set up like a custom Chrome browser, custom tab, so that it makes it easy to stay organized and not miss out on any, applications, opportunities, or responses from these recruiters. But let's see. So I want to know who else is interviewing. We got Tyler in here, 7 interviews. Marquise, you had what, 2 interviews this week or more? I think you're muted.
I have 2, but I have a bunch of recruiters I gotta hit back up, like message them back.
Okay, cool. 2 interviews, and we'll check out that motor company. And then Daniel, I know you said you had at least 1 or 2 interviews. And shoot, anybody else in here that's
I had
interviewing?
2 interviews.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know you were killing it,
Yes,
Brock.
sir.
Let's see. I think I heard somebody else. Ara, did you want to say something?
Yeah, I got one. Yeah, I got one next Friday.
Bro, I promise. Didn't we just do your resume like 2 days ago?
Yeah. No, that was yesterday.
Yeah, that was yesterday. What the heck?
It was
That's crazy.
yesterday.
Nice, bro. Okay, sweet. We'll check that out too. Yeah, I'm like, literally, I remember we were on a freaking call. All right, so bet. Let's see. We'll check out Motor, Brock. We can check those out. What company do you have the interview with next week? And then same with like Tyler, like anybody who's got interviews, we'll kind of check out some of the companies and we'll kind of game plan a good question to ask based on like this interview prep template, which I honestly keep it very similar for all my interviews. First round, these are the questions I'll ask, but I just frame it a little bit based on who I'm interviewing with and like their experience, and then as well frame it a little bit on like the specific company and what their solution is. So yeah, we'll check some of these out. So I don't know if you guys, if it's easier if you guys want to just drop some of the company names in the chat you're interviewing with, and then we'll kind of skim through them, look at each one, and we can pick like a company to do some more in-depth like interview prep with. But yeah, I mean, unless you guys want to come off mute, we could do it like that too. But bro, this is exciting. We got a bunch of people in here interviewing, crushing it, reaching out on LinkedIn, reaching out via email. Okay, ZocDoc, and then we'll look at Motor on LinkedIn. I don't see it on RepView, but this looks, let's see. So SDR, 45K base is a little lower than what I've been seeing, but 44% isn't bad for quota attainment. 60K, yeah, still a little bit on the low side, but it seems like if they're saying a top performer in an SDR role can earn 280K, that's really high. Account executive role actually looks better at 72% hitting quota. So that's above average again for sure. Reviews, overall experience was great. Upcoming startup. Okay, this is why the pay is so low. And this was literally what a couple months ago. ZocDoc slashed the compensation plan after our team broke records on activations. This while paying on the very low end. If you enjoy crushing it, to hear them boast about the annual recurring revenue and then cut your pay, this is for you. Remote quota attainment and inbounds all positive though. Yeah, I mean, for like your first role, being that you really have no experience in tech, and to already be interviewing with them, it definitely wouldn't be bad for like a first role. And then you've got the applications for, up to a year. It's like you can take this, gain that tech experience, add it to your resume, and then I think from there, like this still would be good to build off of. But yeah, I mean, that's it. Obviously something is good, even though it doesn't seem like it. Like if they had to kind of cut the compensation plan or change it around, it means that, like it said, the last SDRs broke the plan. So they have a really good product market fit and a really good solution if they have their reps selling more than they can like pay out and be profitable. So I mean, it is a good sign of like the most important thing, what you're selling actually can be sold. So yeah, definitely seems like a good company overall, good entry level role, I would say. Bet. So let's see. We got 10th Mountain. We'll check out Platform 9. Let's see if we can pull these up. All right. So we'll check 10th Mountain on LinkedIn. Let's see Platform 9. Salaries. So this looks like a newer company. 38% hitting quota, but it doesn't seem like there's too much in terms of reviews yet for them. 3 ratings so far. Diversity, inbound lead flow looks a little low. Product market fit is really good though. And base compensation is really good. So even though we don't have enough reviews yet to see it, I mean, 5 stars on base is a good sign. And yeah, culture, product market fit. I mean, to me, those are like the most 3 important things. So yeah, that's perfect. And how's it going, Brittany?
Hi, good. You sorry, I'm joining a little bit late, so I'm like getting like last end of your conversation. You said the top 3 things that you look for mostly in a company are those top 3?
Yeah, for sure. I would say, honestly, in my opinion, the product market fit is the most important thing when you're looking at a company to work for. You could have the best base pay, but if you can't sell anything, I mean, you're just going to be collecting that base, which, shoot, isn't the worst. But I feel like you're in this to make money. You're in this to get those commissions. So the product market fit is what's going to make your job easier. It's what's going to make your sell easier. It's what's going to make even setting that appointment up of like,
Nah, if she can't find it, you going to go get it.
let me see. So yeah, I think product market fit is the most important thing. And then obviously the compensation for base and the commission is what you look for next. And then definitely culture and leadership, because if you have micromanagers or leadership that is just unorganized and they don't know how to manage teams or be able to like grow the company and keep the morale high, it's going to be like a grind of a role. And eventually it's only so long you can do that without either wanting to quit or starting to look for other roles or just not putting the best foot forward in your role. So yeah, I would say product market fit number one. Siraj, what's good? What's good?
Yeah, what's up, man? You kind of resonated with me on that because I just started my new role
Yes, sir.
and getting onboarded, but everything is super disorganized. Like they have their scripts, but they had like a product manager doing the cold calling. They have like 4 different spreadsheets like of leads. Like they're like, hey, here's the CRM and use this like calling system. And it's like, oh, you don't have a dialer, and also you want me to figure out a CRM. Like no one's training me on anything.
What?
Yeah, like no one's training me on anything. They're like, yeah, just start taking the calls. I'm like, dog, it's my second day. I don't even know what you're selling yet. He's like, yeah, just like start dialing. Like I'm just like, dial what? Like I don't even know what the product, how it works. Like I mean, I might have one warm lead, but that's because I knew a lawyer. But yeah, that's like my advice. Like they kind of are looking for me to like organize everything and be the sales lead and like just take it on. So I don't know what advice you would have, like keep applying for other jobs, or I'm not saying I'm not happy with it. I'm going to give it a chance, of course, but like the team's great. Like the leaders are great. They founded a company already and it's done a lot of multi-millions of dollars already. Like it's been around for over a decade, but like this new company is just super disorganized.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely have some tips. And I mean, that's the thing for sure about startups. And that's the same thing honestly happened to me probably like 3 years ago in the first tech role that I landed into. For like you guys who are just joining or new to the group, Siraj, he joined what, literally 30 days ago, and he's already starting in one of these SDR tech sales roles. And not really too much, like he had some really good sales experience, but this is first role in tech. So what I would say for sure, what I would start with is, being that their product and solution is so new, they may not have any case studies or like any closed deals.
Yeah.
But if they do have any closed deals, I for sure would start and talk to whoever closed them and see if they can connect you and get you on a call with that customer.
Yeah.
Reason for that is, one, you can just ask the customer questions of like, hey, what made you actually purchase our solution? What do you like about it? What were you using before?
Yeah.
And get some details about their company.
Yeah.
And once you understand like what their company is, so that would be like their employee count, what kind of like vertical or industry within the legal space they're in, I would then build out a list. And you can literally ask the CEO like, hey, can you guys pay for a Zoom Info account? And then you're literally going to go on Zoom Info, or you could even use Apollo, honestly.
Yeah. They
and-
use iterable, and they sent out like a 500 mass email thing to plaintiff law firms. They're going with the small ones. They have like 4 free trials given out so far.
Nice.
And that's what they're measuring me on. Is the girl, it took her like 2 months to get 4 of those. So they want me to do 10 technically in a month. And they want me to do 100 calls a day without a dialer.
Yeah, no, that's definitely a lot. So yeah, I definitely would check out the Mojo dialer. Because I mean, so what I was doing in my role is Zoom Info. I like it because you get the mobile numbers, and a lot of people who have like iPhone, their phones on do not disturb. So I was doing 2 dials per person. So I mean, maybe you hit up 50 people, you're already at your 100 dials. But definitely, if you're using like Mojo, you can dial 3 people at once, and then it just picks up whoever answers first. So
Yeah.
like you would be able to rip through your dials. So I definitely
Okay.
would have them pay for Mojo and then
Mm-hmm.
have them pay for Zoom Info,
Mm-hmm.
because I mean Apollo's similar. If you can search like by the number of employees, by
Mm-hmm.
the company size, by the industry, and then you're
Yeah.
gonna like all those 4 companies that got the free trials. Literally, I would search for companies exactly similar to them, and then
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna call the new ones and be like, hey, we're actually working with plaintiff law firm XYZ. We
Mm-hmm.
set them up with this free trial to do X, Y, and Z.
Mm-hmm.
And being that you're the chief technology officer, what we typically do with other CTOs like yourself is just set up a quick 15-minute call so we can onboard you with our free trial. I've got time tomorrow, 10 a.m. or 2 p.m. What works better for you?
Got you. Yeah, because like they're going straight for the close on the call, and like maybe a second one to follow up, and like, here, take this like form, sign this, and then send us your info. And it's pretty much just streamlined casework, like demand letters, like personal injury stuff like that. So I just
Yeah.
learned about all this yesterday. So they have scripts. I used the chat GPT to make it a little bit more efficient, but I guess I just got to start calling now.
Yeah, I think that, and then as well, like personalization. So, like I said, when I joined the first startup tech role I had as a SDR 3 years ago, literally there was no training. Like it was the same thing. Like they were like, hey, here's our CRM, like start making some dials, which it can be good, even though it definitely is intimidating. Like when you're first joining and you don't have experience, it's a lot better than like the most recent role I was in was they were past their Series D round of funding. So they had A, B, C, Series D, they got like $90 million. And we started with a 2-week training program, which was like every single day, like 8 hours of back to back to back to back to back Zoom calls.
Damn.
So it's like at the end of those 2 weeks, I'm like, okay, I'm ready to call. Like, please just let me get out these meetings, let me get on the phone. Compared to at the startup, it's like you pretty much have like after you do your dials, you've got your whole day. Like if you
Yeah.
wanted to, you could go, do whatever with your time, and you're not going to be spending 8 hours just on calls. So I definitely would say, just in terms of like 3 things, would be Mojo Dialer, or if there's a more efficient dialer, there may be one. And then second would be Zoom Info, and then third would be like super, super focused on social proof and case studies of the other 4 like trials you guys have ran, and then any other like past like partnerships you've done, and really just base all your conversations on like, hey, this is what we've seen work for other people who are similar to you.
Okay. Gotcha. I don't want to take up too much time because I want to dial in my script, but that's not the point of the call. So if I'll concede to other people.
Yeah, all good. Let's see. I see another hand raised.
Yeah, when you're done, could you put the link for the platform 9 for me, please?
You said the platform 9.
Yeah, whenever you get a minute, just put in the chat the link.
Yeah, let me see. Just this one on RepView.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, yeah, I just dropped that in the chat. And then Brittany, I see you got a hand raised.
Yeah, so when I first came on the call, I saw that you were searching ZocDoc, the company on RepView.
Yeah.
Are there people on the call who have interviewed with them or are preparing for interview?
Yeah.
I have one.
You said you got one too, or you had one?
I have one coming up next week, so it'll just be my initial interview. So has anyone else had their interview yet, or are they prepping for it as well?
No, I think Arath was prepping for his as well. So we definitely will pull them up, and maybe this will be the company that will do like some interview prep for. So yeah, we'll check that out. I know we'll check out the 10th Mountain recruiting, and then Tyler, what's good?
Yeah, man. Basically, so I have a question. I do got a second call coming up sometime next week. They want to push it forward, and I have to do 3 mock calls with the company. And so I'm just curious how I should prepare for that, because I know I got the script that you got for the template, and I chat GPT'd all the company information and what they're selling and everything. It's a good script. But when it comes to 3 different mock calls, that's something I'm not used to. So just out of curiosity, how should I prepare for that?
Yeah. So the biggest thing is, what company is it for?
It's man, I just had my interview with them. Let's see. It was with Asset Watch.
How you spell that?
ASSETWATCH.
Okay, perfect. Asset Watch. So the biggest thing in terms of if you're preparing for 3 mock calls is going to be the success stories. I mean, honestly, like I use success stories. This is like what I fall back on, like the case studies, testimonials, and wins. And then the second piece is going to be like the objection handling. Like 3 different mock calls are probably going to hit you like with 3 different scenarios and objections. So one, I would maybe have like half a sheet kind of prepared with like just one sentence about each of these case studies. So it would be, for example, saved, what company is this? Separator fan cleaning prevents 120K in loss production. And let's see if it says the company name. Get started for 199. Okay, so it doesn't say the company name, I don't think, but I literally would just have like half of a sheet prepared with some of these quick wins, some of the testimonials, and some of these case studies, and as well in terms of like handling the objections. So a few of the objections that I've got on this are pretty common.
Okay.
I would say dial them in and be a little more specific to the industry specific ones. So like it's going to definitely take a little bit of more research on understanding like what objections they could hit you with. For an example, condition monitoring engineer observes vibration on like this machine, issues for maintenance recommended, and then sheaves and belt replaced, but condition monitoring engineer calls out worsening misalignment, so it didn't really help. And the issue was solved by replacing the taper lock and bearings. So it would be something like this of like, maybe they have like, oh yeah, you know, you're in the cold call and you're like pitching them on the solution, and then they're like, oh well, we have a engineer who monitors every single machine in our warehouse. And then I would say, oh, you know, that's really good, you guys have an engineer. We actually were working with a food and beverage company, and we found out that even though they had an engineer and they had replaced that one piece, the bearing was still hot, and we actually ended up replacing a different piece that the engineer didn't originally see using our software that we could find out, and we saved them an extra $150,000. You know, does something like that sound familiar? And like that's literally from there, you just keep the conversation going when you ask like, does something like that sound familiar, or you know, how would this machine breaking affect your operations? So you just keep it open ended so that you continue talking, because that's the whole point of the cold call, is to not get stopped up on they hang up, or like you just get stuck into like a yes or no question. So I like to have as many open ended questions as possible and as many like real world examples or case studies as possible, so that I can always just, whether they're like, oh yeah, you know, just send me an email. Well, I'll go into, okay, definitely. I'd love to send you an email. What specifically would you like me to send in that? Again, another open-ended question of, they're going to talk about, oh, well, send me, you know, what you guys do for blah, 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 and blah. And then you just keep the conversation continued to where you can get to the end point of, well, shoot, I know we've been on for a few minutes. Like I said, I'd love to show you how our software can actually save you $150,000 just on one part. Are you free for 15 minutes tomorrow at 10 a.m. or 2 p.m.?
Got it.
So like that's the whole point. You just got to keep the conversation going and don't get stopped up on any yes or no questions, because if you look at it on the other side and you're like, say you say, and it's so small things in like mock calls and sales where you could do everything perfect, but you ask the question in a yes or no way of, like, yeah, we replaced the taper lock and saved them $150,000. And then you just keep the conversation going. And don't get stopped up on any yes or no questions, because if you look at it on the other side and you're like, say you say, and it's so small things in like mock calls and sales where you could do everything perfect, but you ask the question in a yes or no way of, like, yeah, we replaced the taper lock and saved them $150,000. would something like that be beneficial to you? And then like, yeah, it would.
Cool. Yeah, that's easy, man.
And it's like, where do you go from there? They're like, no, it wouldn't.
Yeah.
So you just try and avoid yes or no questions and keep them more of like how or what or why, and you'll be perfect. Because yeah, if you ask a yes or no, like, would that be better? And they're like, yeah, it would be. And then they're just silent, and it's like you're kind of stuck. So
got you.
but cool. Yeah, I would check those out. And then yeah, just be prepared for like any objections as best as you can, because they may throw something of like, oh, I don't have time, or I mean, and there's always a way around it, because like if someone says they don't have time, like even in the real world, it's like if you were actually that busy, you're not answering a cold call from a random number. So you've got a little bit of time. And you from there, I'm just like, well, cool. I get you're busy. Can I just steal 30 seconds of yours and explain why I'm calling?
Exactly.
And then from there, I go back into social proof. Yeah, actually, I was speaking with the general manager over at X, Y, and Z warehouse. They were facing really bad issues in terms of monitoring their equipment. How are you guys dealing with that? And boom, you got a whole conversation. So
cool, man. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. All right, so let's see. 10th Mountain, we're going to check that out. And then we're going to check out the motor company. And from there, we got a couple resumes that we'll review. Header, what's good? I see you got a question.
Yeah, Sharif. Just when you have a moment, if you could quickly show me how you organize the application tracker with the color coding.
Yeah, it should be pretty simple if you're on the Google Docs. Like I just would click over on like one of these tabs, and then, for example, like say this is one of my old spreadsheets. Let me go to my new one. Let's see. Let's see. Application tracker. So we'll just pick this one for an example. And so you would just click on like one of these lines, and then say, for an example, this company, you would move to like declined or rejected. I would just update it like in one of these tabs. And from here, I would click on the line, and then I just go to highlight and change it to a different color.
Okay.
And then as well, like say for an example, connection company, I would go here and say this is the person that I'm going to connect with. I would open link in new tab. And then I would just copy and paste their profile. And for example, if I sent the connection and added a note, so like I would go through, let's see, and I would say connect, add a note, and then I could show you in the community like where we have these pasted, but it would just be like, hey, I just applied, ... And then I would go back into the spreadsheet here, and I would say connection to company. I would put her link here, and then if I followed up like via Apollo, maybe you just say yes, like 8/2/24 if you actually added her to the sequence. And yeah, that's kind of how I would just keep everything organized. So then that way, you can just click through and pull them back up on LinkedIn and see who you connected with, see if there was a conversation, and go from there.
Okay, perfect. Got it. Thanks.
Yeah, of course. All right, so let's go back here, close out some of these tabs. And let's see. Close these up. We'll keep the interview prep up, and we'll check out this company. Let's see, motor. Let's see. Marquise, for some reason, I'm not seeing this one come up. I don't know if they have like something additional in their name. Let me see. Brock, I see you said you got an interview with, let me see if Brock is still in here. Bigger Pockets. I've heard of like their podcast. And then what other companies do we see in here that you guys are interviewing with? 10th Mountain. So 10th Mountain, Daniel, that looks like a recruiting firm. Which I've gotten hired a few times through like some of these recruiting firms. So not a bad thing at all. But that's what it seems like, unless they're like, let me see if I can pull this one up. This is a recruiting firm that I worked for, and it was like an executive placement firm, but I got hired as an SDR for their firm through another executive recruiting firm. So it definitely, like, you can get some pretty good roles from it. And usually that recruiter will be like your best friend during the process, and they'll be prepping you and telling you like what the next company is looking for. But let's see. I'm gonna drop my email in the chat, and then we can do a couple of these resume reviews, and then we'll do some interview prep towards the end. Let's see. So I see Tyrese, I see Brandon, and then Ashwin. You guys want your resumes kind of looked at real quick. So shoot me them via email, and then we'll check those out too. And then after that, we'll do some interview prep for ZocDoc. And if we got some more time, we could check Platform 9 out a little bit more, and then answer any other questions you guys got.
Yeah, while they're sending you their resume, I have a quick question. So with Overview, I'm gonna do my second interview with the hiring manager next week. And so because they are a startup company, I'm thinking of trying to go into it like a little more prepared. So I was considering putting some stuff together, because they did attach two documents for me to look over, and they said there will be some like a Q&A around that. And so I was thinking about putting together maybe my own ramp up 30, 60, 90-day plan. Nice. And then maybe even like a script, like a 9-point or 9 touch type of game or something like that, like using ChatGPT. And I think it'll be good practice either way, is how I'm looking at it. But I wanted to know your thoughts, like if that would be too much or if it might help me look.
Yeah, I think it would help. We got my guy Christian in here, and he's in an SDR role. I think we had got him hired in maybe like 3 or 4 weeks, and he did something really similar with this company called Truck Stop. Between him and then there was another guy, Leon, that was interviewing with him, and Leon prepared something super similar. And I don't know if Christian, if you're free to come off mute, or if you can kind of talk about like your experience with that. But I'd say Brittany, for sure, I think it can be beneficial. And honestly, any way that you can set yourself apart or stand out is beneficial for sure. So let me see. Tyrese said, "What's my email?" Let me drop it in the chat. But yeah, Christian, I don't know if you're free or.
Yeah, what up, bro?
What's good? What's good?
Yeah, like when I was interviewing for that job, I think because this job is my second SDR role, but this is my like first remote one. Before this one, I was working like completely on site, so I just wanted to go for remote. And then when I got hired on site, I created like a 90-day game plan too. I think I have it. I'm gonna look for it and I can drop it in the chat.
Sweet.
And then I used that for this one as well, for the remote one. And then also someone else in the group was interviewing for that same job too. So he kind of like helped out like what questions they asked and stuff. So that was like a big help. So I got pretty much, I only had 2 interviews for that job. I got hired on the spot.
Dang.
And then my company where I work at right now, they're hiring right now. They just fired some dude this week. It was 3 days in. So they're looking to fill 2 more roles for my team. They're not really strict. They don't micromanage or anything. They just want you. The reason this guy got fired was because he wasn't like, we use Microsoft Teams, so he was always away. And then like they would message him and he wouldn't reply. So I feel like as long as like you're like somewhat like, can reply, and then like at least during your ramp up here, like the first 60 days, like if you're on it, like you'll be fine.
That sounds great. I would love if you have a link to the game plan so I can reference it. I was gonna just kind of create it from scratch, and then based on what I've seen in like other I noticed that with some jobs they put that in the description, like they'll showcase like what their 30, 60, 90 day. So I was gonna kind of pull and just also just think about the company, like what I do know for sure right now about them. But that link would be great. And if you want to share the company that is hiring, I would love to apply to them.
Yeah, I just dropped that one in the chat. This is a company that's hiring, so
Thank you.
yeah, of course. And let me check my email so we can review a couple of these resumes. But yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, I mean, I feel like that 60, 90, 30-day plan definitely will set you apart. And I feel like that's what a lot of these companies, it's just they're looking for some like one thing that sets you apart from the other candidates. All right. So Daniel, the first tip that I would say for sure with the resume is just the file name. So like I can show you on Canva how to change it, but definitely like once we start applying, you definitely want to have this to just be your first and last name so that like when you're applying, they don't see like copy of first and last name's resume and kind of use that to knock you out. Outside of that though, this looks good. Formatting, we got your LinkedIn on here. Numbers and metrics are perfect for these roles too. Ranked in top 10% of servers for sales performance, exceeding targets, adding 5K in additional monthly revenue, boosted sales by $500 per shift, generated 10K in additional monthly revenue as well. I would just say for these, it's just like a little formatting thing, but like the plus sign is at the end and then it's at the start of some of these. So I would just kind of move those over. And then as well, this like little bullet point right next to your email. If you want to add a space and then maybe put that on the same line or just add a space so it's not like super close. Outside of that, though, this looks really good in terms of sales and soft skills, technical skills. I would say too, if you can, drop the Canva link. Because I mean, even like these ones, like the bullet points are on this side here, and then they're right here, which I know Canva, I'm just comfortable with it because I've been using it now for like 2-3 years, but it can be kind of hard to like have all the bullets like all line up and have everything be formatted perfectly. So shoot, I could help you out with that. And then I'm guessing you got the transparent sections of keywords here. Areas of expertise looks really, really good. I like that. I would say it depends though, because honestly, you have everything like really concise and dialed in on this one page. I think it would make sense to slide this over and then have like a transparent section, 1 or 2 of keywords right here, and then just delete the second page. One, because education is just like the high school education. Most companies really don't care. And you're also kind of dating yourself of like when you were out of high school with this. So I would say we could kind of just scrap the second page. So you don't really need that. And then like it'll be different if you had like filled it up and added a bunch more stuff, which either way, you don't need a degree, you don't need education. But if you did have it and like you had a couple different colleges or, you know, a degree and the experience, maybe I would say add it. But I feel like you'd be better off just kind of scrapping that second page and then cover letter looks good too. So yeah, this is nice though. Like super solid for the foundation. It's literally just those little small touches and things like that. And you'll be good to go. But yeah, if you want, if you have this share link on Canva and you want to drop that in the chat, we'll check out a couple of these other resumes and then I'll be able to like in a couple seconds fix it and reformat it for you.
Yes, sir.
Hey, this is nice. I like this, Brandon. Super fire. I like the picture. I would say same thing with the formatting. If you want to share it, I can just slide this over a little bit so that that's kind of like centered or aligned with this.
Okay.
but I like this results driven. You got the amount of years that you have in sales and account management. The numbers and metrics look really good for this. You've got the KPIs, you've got appointments set, average deal size, close rate percentage. This looks really good. We've got new clients, boosting acquisition by 20%. Yeah, I like this a lot. I would say the only thing I would add is
Yeah, playing with Canva for me was just like I'm like super nitpicky. I didn't
yeah,
know
it
how to,
is.
so just make, gotta align everything, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I would just say align everything, and then like just a little bullet points, and I would just add the PDF like with your professional cover letter too. So for cover letter, I'll drop it in the chat. I
Yeah, if you
use
could, just because when you sent when I posted it to the for your team to send out, I didn't know how generic it should be. Like I didn't know like if I should add one or what, but you know what I'm saying? Because if they're
yeah,
gonna
yeah, definitely. I mean, so what I do is I'll paste this in the chat. This is the prompt I use to have ChatGPT generate the cover letter, and then I literally would just for you it'd be super easy. Like honestly, I'll just show you guys a live example now. So what I'm gonna do is let me go back here. Is download this and grab your email. Cool, we got that copied. And then let's go to chat GPT. Oh shoot, I see Christian drop the and let's see if I can let's close out some of these tabs. We'll say the interview prep. We'll close that out too. And we'll just throw that right there. And then copy this. And we'll go. You're looking for account manager roles? Oh, I think you're muted.
oh yeah, more SDR, but yeah, I mean I have account manager experience.
So we'll do SDR and account manager and upload. And the main thing that I've been seeing, and I don't know if Kai's on here too, but we've got so Kai, he's like an AI expert. One of the guys in here, he's like run a couple bit like AI automation businesses. But I've seen the same thing as well as like they're kind of like nerfing or like making these AI tools and some of these like GPTs like less smarter, if that makes sense. I've been getting
Yeah.
like some of the same responses compared to like last year when it first came out. It was like insane, like how good some of these tools were. But the main way to combat that is just having like a super detailed prompt and not giving the AI like too many things to work on all at once. But let me know what you think of this.
But so if you have that cover letter and I attach it to and I'm putting it through your your resume send out where you have the team sending them out, wouldn't they have to go in there and put in the different names for each place they're sending out? I thought that would be tedious for them.
Yeah. So what I do is I'll make a document, and so I pretty much remove like all those specific filters for when it asks for like the company name. So like I would say I'm writing to express my enthusiasm for the SDR role that you guys are like that you're looking to hire for or that you're adding to your team. And then same with like some of these, like I'm particularly drawn to like I might just delete the sentence and then say I'm confident that my background, will help me
Okay.
align perfectly with your sales team, something along those lines.
Got it. Okay. So just take that, basically, make it more generic and then send it into the resume send out.
Yeah. And
Okay.
then so for this, let's see.
And then since I'll do that, and then if I update a new email, because since then, basically got my email just bombed on.
Yeah.
So I wanted to update it to a different email, so that way I have a little bit more organization.
Yeah, definitely. I would recommend to do that because it definitely can get cluttered. And so we'll share this.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. And I'll just say in market analysis to drive sales. I'm confident. And I would say, well, you're adding to your take. And yeah, I would just have this attached as like a PDF. And then even for this, I just have it as like dear hiring manager, something simple like that. And yeah, you'll be good to go.
Okay, so I'm gonna do that, basically resend it, and then I definitely want to watch those videos that you described in the beginning of the call for getting the Apollo set up and getting
Yeah.
that extension and having the campaigns. Just like Tyler said, obviously that sounds like it helped him out a lot too.
Yeah. Yeah. Apollo's fire. I think it definitely is a difference maker.
Cool. Appreciate you.
Yeah, of course. Sweet. This looks good too.
I have a
What's
quick
up?
question about Apollo. The training was helpful with setting it up, but maybe I missed a step because I didn't see an area to like select the time that the message went out. So when I emailed the sales manager, it like got to them after they sent me like the follow-up. Does that make sense? Like about the next interview. So it looked like either I didn't read their email or I'm still glad I sent the message, but I want to be able to control like when it goes out because I was hoping that would have gone out before.
Let's see. So in terms of this, you can edit. So you can have when to start the step and you can do hours or you can do days. That is the one thing. It's like you can't select like send at 8:15 a.m. or send at this time. So it's like if you send it, I would ideally try and go in at the time that you wanted to send out every single day. So like say you were doing this like now, either you'd have to set the hours of like kind of like backtrack the hours from like how much is it from my time now to when is it going to hit them. So I would just try and do it on like one in the mornings. So you can just set it to days and then you'll have it of like every 2 days. And you can pretty much have it of like if it only does like business days. And then as well, it only sends it if there's no reply. So that way it doesn't keep sending emails to people if they replied. And like even for example, if they reply and you didn't see it, it would take them out the email sequence.
Okay, yeah, that's good to know. I like deactivated that one just in case, but I didn't look at that drop down. So that hours thing that helps. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Cool. And so we'll close this out. And yeah. So if you guys saw Christian, he dropped his like 30, 60, 90-day plan in here too in the chat. So that's also something like you can send to recruiters and it'll make you look good. And okay, so let's see whose resume did we have next?
Mr. Sharif.
What's good? What's good?
Hey, boss. Sorry to interrupt you, but I just want to be sure if you got the invitation for Canva to modify the resume. I just want to be sure if you received it.
Yes, I did. I see it now.
Okay, just making sure.
Yeah. Okay. I'll pull this up too. And oh shoot. And then okay, so yeah, we'll chop this up real quick. And then we've got Ashwin. I see your cover letter and your resume too. We'll check that out. And let's see. What else do we want to touch up? Cool. So we got these lined up. And these up. Line that up. And okay, sweet. That looks good. That looks good. And grab these and move them down here. And then like that. Okay, cool. This looks pretty good. Yeah, perfect.
Thank you, Sharif.
Yeah,
I
of
didn't
course.
need those touch up.
Of course. So cool. That's ready to go. And we've got
Should I re-upload it to the resume website?
yeah, if you can. I'll drop that link in the chat for you.
Oh, okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, of course, of course. And then we've got Ashwin. I've got your resume pulled up. We'll check that
Yeah.
out.
I just resent it because I accidentally sent a PDF copy before. So you should have the word one now.
Okay, let me see. I see the Word one. I don't have Microsoft Word though on my computer.
Oh, okay. Well, there's the PDF there.
Okay, I could see the Microsoft Word though. I don't know. For some reason, I feel like I hate Teams, Microsoft Word. Like, I don't know. They're just annoying to me. I don't know. I like Canva, but people say the opposite. They're like Canva's tough to use, but I don't know. Microsoft to me is like. But let's see.
So that's supposed to be one page. I don't know why it's why it's two like that. I don't know why it says Andrew Jackson.
Yeah.
That kind of, this is the one they created for me.
Yeah, this definitely. And then what is this one?
Just my cover letter that I actually wrote it, and I was told that it was good.
Yeah, this looks really good. I like the cover letter. Do you have edit access to the Word doc?
I do, yeah.
Okay.
Like on the PDF for it, it shows one page.
Okay, let me pull up the PDF.
And it doesn't show Andrew Jackson on there.
Yeah, this looks good. But it's like when you downloaded it on the other document, it came up different.
I I forgot who. I think Erica created it for me,
Yeah.
and I think she just used Andrew Jackson's template.
But is it like the same? Because that's weird. It's like if it's the same version, was on this one. Let's see. Okay, the hyperlinks work though. I would just say if you highlight, like underline them, and then make them blue too. Because yeah, the hyperlinks work. You see, I can kind of click on the email, click on the LinkedIn,
Yeah.
and
I just opened up the same one I sent you, the Word doc, and it doesn't say Andrew Jackson. For some reason, when I sent it to you, it did. I don't know
yeah,
why.
I don't know. It's weird. And then education, professional development. This looks good. I would say maybe because you've got some more room, like on this line, some more room on this one, and this one, and this one. Maybe just having like some type of like number affiliated with these. So for this manage batch processing and code release activities, maybe it's something along the lines of like how many lines of code like you're doing per like batch, or maybe like how much time you actually have. Like maybe you're doing this like every 30 days, or maybe you're doing this like weekly or bi-weekly. For this incident management, you definitely can have something of like managed or handled 10 plus tickets on a daily basis, de-escalating customer concerns. And then for the data monitoring, I would say if you're doing like managing, like, are you managing like multiple data centers? Are you managing like multiple nodes or like multiple things across the entire center as well? And resolve ETL failures and data engineering and workflows. Maybe for this, like if you're optimizing the workflows and maybe you're doing like a 15% reduction in time or like optimizing something by a certain percentage, I think having those would just maybe boost us a little bit because you've got like one in this line and it's pretty close to taking up the full 2 lines. So yeah, I would say do that for these ones. And as well, I would then just attach the resume and the cover letter in one PDF so that you're pulling all those keywords in that one PDF. And then that's when like you're applying, that all gets uploaded so that it's pulling from both documents. And outside of that, everything else looks like really good.
Okay, so add some metrics, put them together.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I'm just not getting any responses yet, so I just wanted you to kind of get a little.
I would say those
over.
2 things, and then same like if you can change the file name to just like your first and last name and have it as like first name, last name, resume, cover letter. I would say those 2 things, and like your resume file will be perfect. And then like from there, the second step, I would recommend too, especially being that you're applying to like some of these data analytics or software engineering jobs. I feel like no one in data or software is going to be using Apollo or LinkedIn and actually hitting up some of these recruiters and reaching out to them. So like that is going to just set you across the board like as one of the top candidates because most people will just apply and then wait for a response. But if you're actually out there like hunting for a response, and it doesn't even have to physically be you, it's like you set up these email campaigns one time, and then all you're doing is you set them up one time, and then you just go through the companies on LinkedIn and just click add to sequence. You literally select sequence, outbound sequence, and yeah, like I would just add the contacts and it's already starts sending out. So it's like literally it's like one click and they're already in it. You set it up one time and it just works for you.
So sorry, that's called Apollo? Or
yeah, it's called Apollo.io. If you need like a little bit more in-depth setup for it, inside the classroom section and then the step-by-step getting hired, pretty much we go through and set this up. Like 15 and 15.5 are 2 good videos of how to set it up. I'll go through and I'll make an updated video because when we set these up, I was using another tool called Wizza, which actually is like a couple more steps and it takes longer to do. So like if I was to go to this truck stop and then go to people, I would have to pretty much do all the same steps, but like say I go to talent to find the recruiters, nothing like their info doesn't pop up until I would have to click into their name. And then once I click in and once it loads.
I did try Wizza. I did see that video.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, you see Wizza, it's like it's a good tool, but it's an extra 2 or 3 steps compared to the Apollo extension is actually free. And then it's also free to sign up for an Apollo account and you get unlimited emails. Like I don't even recommend you get the paid account. I do have the paid account, but there's the only difference is you get to see if they open the email and if they clicked on it. But it's like at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter if they opened it or if they clicked on it. What matters is if they replied. So you don't really need it. You can already send out unlimited emails and schedule your campaigns with the free version. So I would just use the free version, use the free extension, and you're good to go.
Okay. All right. Okay, sounds good.
Hey Sharif.
What's up? What's up?
On my interview yesterday, I interviewed 2 people. Should I email the second person? I didn't know he would be there, but should I email like both of the people?
Yeah, I would. I have a script. Let's see, somewhere in here. Here we go. If you finish the interview, I would use this. I mean, this is something too, like it doesn't make as much sense to set it up with Apollo, but if you wanted to set it up with Apollo, you could, because I've got like 3 different touches in here. But I mean, this is like and it doesn't even have to be this long, but this is just a really good email, like a follow-up and a thank you email and especially if you recorded them, you can just use this to like pretty much thank them for saying like this would just be something specific that you talked about during the interview. So like I'm excited about XYZ that we talked about during the interview. And then I'm excited for like the next time we talk. Thanks again for the opportunity and for the time. Right. And then I've got a couple other ones of like, if you're trying to just check in and it's been a couple of weeks since you haven't, or it's been a couple of days since you haven't gotten a response to. So I just dropped that in the chat. But yeah, I definitely think if you have the time to like send that thank you email, that could be the difference maker too. And it also like it keeps the conversation going. Kai, what's up?
Yeah, no need to stop mid-sentence, Sharif. It's like
good.
so responsive. It's insane. Like, so I was just amazed at like all the little things, like how you talk, the open question stuff, and so on. And I'm gonna dive into all of that. I remember in one of your YouTube videos, you mentioned the book "The Wolf of Wall Street" for Tone. Do you have like a book or 2 I could just like read to get like the mentality behind that instead of like just the examples? If you could just like give a few book recommendations.
I've got a couple. Let me see. Let's see. So that's this one, and oh shoot, I think the other one's in my bag. Let me grab it. So yeah, I've got obviously this one, like in terms of mindset. So the Wolf of Wall Street is like perfect for the sales process because that talks about tonality. This one I actually like a lot. I don't know if you've seen. It's called Meditations
by Marcus Aurelius.
Yeah, Marcus Aurelius. This one's like one of my favorites. This one is more of like stoicism, and I think it does make a big difference in sales because a lot of times you do have rejection and you get told no, but you only really need one yes. So with this one, some of the things I've learned from it is like not being too attached to the results. And I kind of talked about it. I don't know if it was, I think it was last Friday's group call, but we were kind of just talking about like the process and how there's ups and there's downs. And it's like, you can still like, when you're going through a tough part of the process and you're like in a down, you can kind of be positive because the only way is up. So This
Yeah,
one's
only
really
focus on what you can control.
100%. Yeah. So this one's
Yeah.
good. I don't know. Have you read? I've got a couple more back there. Like Atomic Habits is
Yeah.
also really good. And
Who's the author of the meditation book?
Marcus Aurelius. So yeah, that one's good. I'm trying to see what else I've got.
Like specifically for sales, not so much like how to not get discouraged, but like is the consultant in me, you know, I like understanding customer or prospect psychology. So I love this thing that you do when they basically tell you no, 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 and you just like acknowledge the no, and then you just like go into like childlike curiosity, and then you just like ask another question, and because they try not to be too rude, they kind of like you're just steering the ship.
Right.
Like this thing is like, dude, and I'm not used to that because I'm just the closer usually, right? So I'm like, wow.
Yeah. I mean, in terms of that, like maybe I'd recommend spin selling, which is a little bit like that. But honestly, like the Way of the Wolf, like the first part is tonality, but in terms of like steering the ship, this literally is what he teaches. So he calls it the straight line selling method. And pretty much like if I kind of showed it on like the whiteboard, it's like he loops you. So it's like you would literally, this is like the start of the conversation. And then this is like the close. And it's like anytime you get an objection, you're pretty much here. And like, I'll move it closer. So like anytime you're getting an objection, it's like you're stopping, but he loops you back with the question. So you get looped back onto the line. But for an example, I'm sure you, as a closer, you've had a conversation where it's like you're trying to close them and then you end up talking about like what they did this weekend or like what's their favorite dog or what's their favorite food. And you end up like all in this area, or you end up down here where it's like, well, I have to ask my wife about it, or, you know, just give me a couple weeks, or I was thinking about touching base another time, or like something down the line where say they were like, oh, I just have to ask my wife about it. When I was selling real estate, I would say, okay, well, I see your home's listed for 250,000. If I showed up to your doorstep with 275,000 in cash, would you have to ask your wife about it still? And they're like, no, I'd take the money. And I would say, okay, so it's not more so about asking your wife about it, but it's not selling your home for a great big discount. That being said, if I could show you how we can bring you $275,000 for your home, would it make sense for us to meet 15 minutes? And that's how you loop them back onto your straight line of getting them from like the start of the call to the end of the call. So, I mean, I would honestly say like Jordan Belfort's method for selling is what I would recommend you read. Because yeah, it's pretty good. It's like either way, you're trying to keep them on your track or like your framework for the conversation. So it's always like you're going to loop them back to that combo, if that makes sense.
And it seems like Hormozi's closer framework like matches up with that really nicely. So maybe combine those two.
Yeah. I mean, I've got Hormozi's, I've got like his, what is it? Let me see. I'll pull that up too. But yeah, I've got like the $100 million offers, $100 million leads. Those books are really good, but
the book isn't out yet, but there are like a few stage talks. Like they're like pretty niche. Like you really have to go look for them.
Yeah.
They may be in the 4-hour video that he just dropped, but he just like literally goes through everything you said. Like I have to ask my spouse, here's what you can say. Like all these different things.
He's got some really good objection handlers that I've seen.
Oh, wow. What is this?
Yeah, I just got this in the chat. This is just like a little article. I think it was like a Medium article that he posted.
Can you drop that in chat?
Yeah, see if you see it. But I mean, it's pretty much the same thing of like, he calls it the closer method. And it's like clarify, label, overview, sell, explain, reinforce, which this is also pretty good.
Yeah, and so in an SDR role, you would just sell the meeting with the account executive. Okay.
Exactly. That's why I love the SDR role. I feel like it's super, super easy to just sell them on the meeting. Because yeah, even here, sell the vacation, not the flight. It's the same thing. You're not selling them on the solution. You're just selling them on the meeting to learn more about it.
Yeah, that is awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, this is a really good article. But yeah, I've got both these books too back here, as well. But yeah, let's see, Michael, what's up?
What's up, bro? What's good?
What's up?
Yeah, I'm cool. I really don't have a question, but I just want to get some insight. You know, like yeah, I've been pretty busy a lot recently, but I just got offered an account manager position um at an insurance company, right?
Nice.
And yeah, see, the thing is like I don't know if I'm going too fast because I've never sold anything or anything in my life. So and
You sold yourself
huh?
if you got the offer. Shoot.
Yeah. I mean, I'm glad I got the offer, but also I'm like I want to be realistic about it and make sure that is something I can do.
Yeah.
And yeah, also I don't know if if I'm gonna take it or not because it's like the job stuff to do is the company already got the leads, right? You just have to go over there with the customers and then you have to close. So you make money on closing.
Is
And
it commission only role though? Or is it like base?
yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's commission only
Uh,
role. But the average on their closing annually is pretty high, you
I
know.
don't know. I
Um,
mean, it depends. Like, if you're just looking at it to gain the experience, I usually don't recommend any commission only role. I don't know.
mhm.
I just think like there's so many roles out here that have the base salary or at least some type of base pay. Like, I would keep focusing on those.
Mhm.
And it is a little different if they bring you the leads and like they're just setting you up on meetings. I mean,
Yeah.
it sounds like it's like kind of like a high ticket type of like closing role, which if you're looking for just the experience and you want to be able to put that on your resume and maybe make some money from it, then it could make sense. But like if you're already working in a job and you've got, I mean, I would say, I don't know, it's kind of tough. I would say depending on the time that they're looking for from you during the week, maybe if you could do both, just because I wouldn't say like only have a commission only role, because I feel like you should always have something for sure guaranteed coming in. But if you have time to where you could still do that and have some guaranteed money come in, maybe it makes sense. But shoot, I don't know. Me personally, I wouldn't say take the commission role because like I've been in commission only roles like with real estate or with other jobs, and it's like I can't really put my full focus into something while I'm doing something else. So like while I know I still got to pay the bills, it just makes selling harder psychologically because you have more of you don't have that abundance mindset. It's more of the scarcity mindset of like, dang, I really want them to close. I really like want to make the sell because you're thinking about what you're going to do with the money compared to like it's a subtle way or a subconscious way, but I feel like the customer usually can feel that or they can tell, and it kind of pushes them away in a sense. So I usually prefer like to just have some that has a base salary. So like, hey, either way, whether you buy or you don't buy, I still have some money coming in. I'm still gonna
Yeah.
get and it just gives you so much more leverage because then you can take the deal away. And that's what really closes the deal a lot of times of like, hey, if this doesn't make sense, no worries. We've got other customers in the pipeline. We have other deals. And it's like you're not coming off as like needy. You're like, I just want you to buy. I just want to make the sale because that pushes the customers away in a weird sense. So, but
Ah,
I mean,
okay.
it's still good that you've got that offer and they like you have that experience now of you can sell yourself. That should give you the confidence of like you can go land any role. And I definitely would still keep looking. We'll keep applying so that you can land one too with a base salary. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely up to you. Like if you don't have too much sales experience on your resume, it wouldn't hurt to take it too. I mean, I did real estate sales commission only for a year, but like part of the time I had to work at Amazon while I was doing it. So even then, like after I got out of there, I had a call center job that was like work from home. It was like $15 an hour, but I literally was like attached to the desk, like headset on, and calls were just coming in. So it was still hard to like really focus on real estate. And I think for you to be able to really lock in and get good in any of these sales roles, you have to be able to like devote all your focus to it. And the only way to do that is if you've got some type of base pay coming in too.
Base pay. Yeah, I mean, I just, I'm thinking about. I told him to give me a whole month, yeah, to kind of see what's going on, and also, I might be able to get another base
Yeah,
job.
100% you can in the next month. I mean, that's plenty of time.
All right, but I appreciate that for the insight, man.
Yeah, of course. Siraj, what's up? What's up?
What's up, bro? I just wanted to get your opinion on my script and, just see what you thought of it. My sales script. Is that okay?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. I'm just gonna post it right here because I just copy and pasted it in the chat.
Let's see. Boom. So we got hi first name. This is Siraj for Paris Law. How's it going? I usually don't ask. I mean, you can. Oh, I mean, I guess sometimes I do say how's it going up front,
Yeah.
but like sometimes I just lead with like, hey, I know I'm calling out the blue. Just wanted to steal 30 seconds of yours and explain why I'm calling.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because like it's either I'm calling a secretary who's the gatekeeper, which is I have another little script for it to be super vague, or I have the lawyer himself, and it's like, hey, have you used AI to optimize your demand letters? Like type of thing. Like.
So for that, I mean, it's like that's a yes or no question. Like either he'd be like, no, why, what, or they could be like, yeah, it's going good.
Yeah.
What do you want?
Yeah.
So what I would say is, and that's kind of where I would be adding the social proof. So like literally it would be, hey, first name, this is Sharif calling from Persis Law. I know I'm calling you out the blue. Could I just steal maybe 30 seconds and explain why I'm calling? And then that way they're already kind of prepped for a cold call. And then they're obviously, okay, sure, 30 seconds, whatever, sure. And then from there, what I would go into next is those 4 other companies you're working with. I would name drop them of like, hey, we're actually working with Perennial Law to save them 15 hours every single week using AI for their email. How are you guys looking at email? Or like, how are you guys looking at your email campaigns?
Through Iterable and Mail Suite. So I get to see who clicks on what. And they sent out like 500, a list of 500, and sent me in like Google to see who's clicking on what. If I get an automated message, those things.
No, yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what my next question would be, like in the script.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were asking me.
Yeah. No, you're good. But see, like, look, it's so natural. Like you just start talking. It's like, how are you guys looking at emails? Instead of, because I see you got, I'm curious, does your firm currently leverage the AI? But it's like they could either say yes or no. So I would you ask them how they're doing that, and then they just start talking. And then once they talk, you take like one little piece that they talked about, like, oh wow, you guys are sending out them all by hand, or like you guys aren't really doing too much, or you guys don't have you guys don't have AI sending out 50 emails a day for you, for real?
Yeah, what they're doing, sorry to cut you off, is like they have junior associates going through like all these cases, doing the research, like getting it all up. And like, if you pay a junior associate like all that, like that hour to do all that work, when AI could do it in like 5 minutes and gets you a whole caseload, and you're just like show up to court, it tells you what to do, what to say, how to say it, how much settlements you could get, higher settlements, that type of stuff.
Yeah, I think that's perfect. I mean, and then you can even sell them on like you can either save the money that you're paying those associates, or you can have them do something that's more valuable and like more return on investment positive. Or the last thing that I would add into the script is when you go into we're offering the free trials. So I would say, yeah, shoot, actually what we did, because we're working with Perennial Law Firm, is set them up with the free trial to test out our AI tool. And I'd love to do the same for you, and then either sell them and set them up on the call, or there's a way of like, you have to frame it of like, we're doing these free trials. I see you got up until August 19th, and pretty much sell them on like some type of like small result, or like something that's, which I don't think I would know it, but it's got to be something like that's super nuanced to the legal field to make them think that their competitors are going from like step like Q to R, or like Q to S, and they're thinking of emails as like A to B. And like that FOMO of like, oh yeah, we already got their automatic email campaigns going out, and now we're doing this with the free trial. So it's like, wait, I'm thinking we're just using AI to set our emails up, but like there's another step after that. And then that's the FOMO of like, they're gonna miss out on what their competitor's doing, and their competitor's like 3 steps ahead of them. So like if you can somehow word that into when you pitch the free trial of like, we're gonna set you up with this, but your guys' competitors are working on this because we already did this for them. Then that's really when they're like, okay, cool, let's set the free trial up. Like I want to hear about more.
Cool. Yeah, that's exactly what they want me to do, is build that scarcity, be like, yo, the competitor is already 3 steps ahead of you using AI, and they're doubling their caseloads.
Yeah, I think that's perfect. Like that's the way to do it. And I would definitely have that scarcity of like pushing to set it up on the call. Like, yeah, I mean, shoot, no worries if you guys don't want to set this up. I am on some back-to-back calls that we've been hitting every single law firm out in Florida. So yeah, I mean, you know, no worries. We'll take you off the list, or like something like that, of like, no worries. You know, and that way it's like you're still building that scarcity of, it's not like, oh yeah, you can just go on our website and get a free trial whenever, because then there's no reason for them to do it right when they're on the phone with you.
Right. Okay. Awesome. Thank you, bro.
Yeah, of course. I can drop, because I mean, this script is pretty similar to like that framework.
Yeah.
I'll just drop this in the chat. Because yeah, that, like, I think it's this line right here, but like maybe you can add something to, like, you know, typically what we do with other law firm managers like yourself is set up X, Y, and Z to show you how we can, after we set up your automatic email campaigns, to do X, Y, and Z.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Because that's
Awesome.
where that, like, yeah, that's where that next piece of like, wait, shoot, I'm missing out. They're on 2 other steps that I haven't even set up the first one. Victor, what's up? What's up? I see a hand raise.
Yeah, what's up?
What's good?
Nothing much, man. I just need my resume to be checked because I added some new pointers to
Okay.
it, and I used ChatGPT to help me come up with some new pointers. And also, I'm still trying to figure out how to add my picture to the little profile thing.
Okay. Bet. Do you made it on Canva?
Yeah, I made it on Canva.
Okay. Yeah, if you can grab the share link and drop that in the chat, and then we'll check that out. And then I'd see, Brittany, you sent over, let me see, case study email for round 2. And then,
Yeah, there's a case study.
oh no, go ahead.
Oh, so yeah, they sent like an overview and then a case study. And she mentioned that there would just be there may be a Q&A revolving around it. So it could just be them asking questions to assess like my knowledge of the company and the main product that they're selling. This is definitely not my area of expertise with manufacturing. Yeah. But I do still want to, I guess, go into the interview and use it as a way of practice and possibly to take the job, but I'm definitely more interested in ZocDoc and it's more aligned with my passion. So I wanted to know if you or see if you had any advice or if how you approach interviews, like when they have you had companies send you like a case study and then how does that go once you get in the interview?
So I've had with one of our members, Caleb, we prepped for, let's see, where was this interview? Oh, So they had sent him a case study for this company and VP of marketing for Epsilon. Yeah. So it was like a marketing company and they sent him a case study and they kind of wanted him to overview it and like how would he pitch to similar companies based on this. So I mean, we kind of did that. But like even for this, I would have ChatGPT just kind of analyze it a little bit and see like for the case study, just to analyze it a little bit because yeah, it is a lot of stuff in this.
Yeah, and it's very technical. So that's what I was planning to do, to have them break it down to layman's terms. And then I also want to know, because they're using this company and then they gave an example of how they work with Ford and then also Amazon. So I know of like different manufacturing companies. I know people who work at their factories and or work at different factories and they have to do like quality control. So I don't know. I'm not sure if they're looking for more so the specific type of like a specific what's the word I'm looking for?
Like a deliverable or
like a
something.
certain not that's a good question. I wasn't thinking that. I was more so just thinking about the actual companies. I'm thinking about like creating a prospecting list of, because there's actually a lot of manufacturing companies in this area, but I was going to look in all the Midwest because I believe that this company is really like they're at the very beginning. Like I don't think they have any SDRs, any BDRs stateside. I think they only have some like in Mexico, I believe. So they're like they're just really getting going, I guess.
So I would say, and then you've got what, the second or the third round coming up?
Second, and he's the hiring manager, so I'm not sure if this is like final or if I would have to.
It's usually like one more person past the hiring manager. What I would say for this is, I think you're thinking in the right path. I would for sure. I can drop like this in the chat. Because I mean now like having ChatGPT just analyze it, it does make more sense of pretty much shows how they automated the quality check process for the system. And the impact was it caught a bunch of defects, saved $700K within the first 9 months, and paid back the project cost within the first week. Took 2 days, collected 20 images. So like these would be like the important things that I would be taking from this. My question would be, and kind of what I would do is definitely do a little bit of like, I mean, this makes it pretty simple to understand, but I would be asking once I go through and see like maybe you build out a couple prospect lists of like these are some of the people at these companies that I would reach out to and tell them about this case study. I would call the recruiter up on like Monday morning and just ask them like, hey, over the weekend I had some time to review the case study. I see that it saved $700K within the first 9 months, catching a bunch of these defects. And I also created a prospect list of the titles at the companies I would reach out to get some more case studies like this. That being said, is there anything specific I should be preparing for the next interview? And then I also would ask them like, in your time working with the hiring manager, what are they looking for? And like, what are they like? So you can kind of be more prepared to actually use the case study or use the information that they're giving you. Because yeah, I have had it. like every once in a while, I used to have one of the questions like, is there any case studies you could send me, or anything to check out? And a lot of times sometimes they would send me one, or they would just tell me like, yeah, check the website under like this tab and this tab, and we got them there. So it's good that they sent you that. But yeah, that's what I would call them up and say like, hey, the hiring manager, what are they looking for, and what do they want to hear, and like how are they? And then that way, it'll just give you a little more clarity on like what you actually should do with this information.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. And cool. And let's see. Oh yeah, okay, I remember now. Let me see if I can. Okay. Do you have the picture, Victor, or you can just go to uploads, and if you just click uploads, you can upload it, and then you can slide it and scroll it in.
Uploads?
Yeah, like on this tab right here, uploads, and then it'll give you a space to like add an image.
Oh, okay. All right. We'll do that. I'll definitely do that.
And let's see what else we got on here.
Oh, and also for the cover letter, would I just paste in like all the work experience into ChatGPT
Yeah.
with a cover letter?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. All right.
And then like these, would you want me to just remove these?
Yeah, go ahead and remove those.
Because I'm thinking if you just want, I would say for these, I would add some more metrics too. Along the lines. See, Daniel, I see you got a question.
I apologize if I'm interrupting the conversation.
Oh, you're good.
Sharif, I hope I'm not stepping on a line to ask this, but would there be any way that you and me can have a one-on-one conversation after the meeting or just another time?
Yeah, what we can do, because I've got something coming up after the meeting.
Okay.
I'll send you a message on school, and if you need to jump on with someone today, we may be able to get you on with Dakota, who's our community manager.
Okay.
But shoot, I'll send you a message on school now, and I'll send Dakota a message and see what his calendar looks like for the rest of today. Because yeah, I've got like 20 more minutes, and then I do got to jump.
It doesn't have to be today. I just wanted to see if I can have a one-on-one conversation with you, sir. But if it's but like I said, it's not like like at this right now type of thing. Just want to see if we could talk. That's all.
Yeah, yeah. Shoot, I'll send you a message now on school, and then we'll figure out some way. We'll get you some help for sure.
Oh, just curious. That's all. Thank you,
Yeah,
sir.
you're welcome. Let's see. Okay, so yeah, we'll do. I would say slide this up.
So I would just basically add more metrics.
Yeah, so like for these, for example, like online shopper, and then like what city and state was this in?
So the city is Buford, Georgia. I forgot to add that. My fault.
Like BUFORD
and Georgia.
And then for the title, I would maybe say like customer service associate.
Oh, okay.
And so for an example, like in terms of like a numbers and metric, like how many conversations do you think you were having daily?
Probably about 50 because I was talking to customers on the phone. And
So how many calls do you think you had coming in daily too?
How many calls?
Yeah.
Probably 100 plus. About 100 plus, yeah.
Inbound cold calls daily.
Yeah.
Answering customer concerns related to product orders. So yeah, something simple like that. And literally I would say like same for this managed, how many different they could be, like what you think, like 500 plus or maybe 300 plus orders on a weekly basis.
We get a lot of orders, so I'll probably say 1,000.
Sheesh. So yeah, 1,000 plus online grocery orders weekly. And then I mean that's what I would do for like most of these roles, like just kind of go through and update just any way that you can have numbers and metrics. During accurate and timely fulfillment. And then utilize inventory management systems to track stock levels and ensure product availability. And let's line these up.
Yeah, because I haven't even applied for jobs yet. I just wanted to make sure that my resume was cool because my other resume, like I applied for some jobs, like tech sales jobs, and still haven't gotten a answer or response back. So I'm thinking that my old resume probably didn't make it through their AI system. So I
Yeah, so
really
I've got like these transparent sections of the keywords right here. And then outside of that, it would pretty much just be kind of going through these roles and updating it. With some more details, like numbers, metrics. So like for this, how many like were you making outbound cold calls?
like reaching out to customers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How many of those do you think, how many like calls a day were you doing to reach out to customers?
probably about 30 calls a day. Yeah.
Nice. So yeah, I would definitely have placed 30 plus. Brittany, what's up? I see you got your hand raised. You might be muted.
Sorry, I can I do have a question, but I don't want to disrupt this part, so I can wait until you're finished with completing his resume.
Okay. And then so I would say place 30 plus outbound cold calls daily to potential leads. And then were you like setting appointments? Like was that the goal by the end of the call?
I mean, they will set appointments to. I mean, the job was like a door-to-door sales job, so I wasn't necessarily setting appointments. I was definitely
How many doors do you think you
calling,
knocked daily?
knocking on doors.
How many do you think you knocked daily?
About 700 plus.
Like really?
Yeah.
Dang. I would have knocked 700 plus doors daily, holding close to 500 conversations to develop rapport, handle objections, and successfully sell premium bottled water products. And then we'll say exceeding monthly sales targets by 20%. So something like that.
Okay.
And then, I mean, you kind of see the difference of like just going through each line and doing it in this way shows like this shows the skills, it shows the actual numbers, it shows what was actually going on in the role for you to, be able to continue to move along in the process and get the attention of like these systems and get these interviews. And then I'll just add a period on each of these lines.
Okay. So, when I was watching the videos on how to like update your LinkedIn,
Mhm.
I seen that you mentioned that we take like each of these experiences and we put them on our LinkedIn.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Yeah. So like like I think it asks like what skills like I would have to put. So what are some skills that you think would look good for each job?
On LinkedIn.
Yeah, on LinkedIn.
I mean, so like for a lot of these, it's gonna be, and I mean, even if you wanted to check out my LinkedIn, like it's just gonna be sales development, lead generation, closing. Let's see, like some of these, like sales management, and even I've got to update my LinkedIn too a little bit. My customer acquisition, definitely good. You could do in terms like operations. Let's see if we can add some more like, oh, that just searches it. Daniel, what's up?
So, a quick question. When it comes to LinkedIn and having the connections, how exactly do the connections increase your value on your LinkedIn profile?
Yeah. So one, like when you're being searched, so like say for an example, we search, let me make a space. So for an example, whoever popped up first, if we view their profile, they've got 500 plus connections. So I mean, one, when people are searching for you and like recruiters are trying to find you, whoever has the most connections is going to pop up first. So even like for me, I've got a profile. My dad, I've got the like I'm the second. So I mean, I pop up before his profile pops up, because I've got a little bit more connections than him. So I mean, one, like just whenever someone's searching your name, the more, and like that being if it was a recruiter, you're going to pop up higher on LinkedIn's algorithm with more connections. And if you want an easy way to just get more connections, let's go to one of my posts in here. So boom, this one. So like this one, I'll copy a link and drop this in the chat. Oh yeah, Brittany had a good tip too for looking up those skills. If you look up jobs similar to like SDR, BDR on LinkedIn, you'll see like a lot of the skills they're looking for too. So yeah, but yeah, this is a good post. Like one, we've got 83 comments on here, so you literally could just go through and scroll and get connections. And then also like this document right here, it has everyone like that's kind of been through, I won't say everyone, but like a good amount of people who have been through the program in the last couple years that you can just go through and connect with that are also in tech or we're looking for a role in tech or just open to connecting and growing their profile. So between like just this document and then I mean all these comments, like you could get to over 250 connections pretty quick. And it just gives you more credibility. It makes your profile stand out more. And you're also in like more recruiter searches and algorithms and more credibility.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that answered my question. Thank you.
Yeah, of course, you're welcome. And then, so cool. We checked out Victor's. Luis, what's good? What's good? You might be muted.
Appreciate you, Sharif.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, hey, sup, Sharif, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. What's up?
What's up, man? Just the blue text on the top, I couldn't remove it.
This right here?
Yeah, for my phone number and
oh. There we go.
All right. Other than that, any touch-ups you notice that I might need?
No, not that I see. I think I remember making yours. Yours looks.
Yeah, it looks pretty well lined up, right?
Yeah. Yeah, yours looks fire. Yeah, no, I think yours is ready to go.
All right. I believe you said to another guy to upload a photo. I do it on Canva, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you don't have a photo, like we can still start sending it out. But I mean, if you did have a photo, then you would just go to like elements and you can add like a like let's see, photo frame, and you can just add like one like to it, and then you would just slide some of this over. But I would say for now, I mean, unless you have like that headshot ready to go, you should be good. Jamie said, also, what would be your script if you're leaving a sales prospect a voicemail? And then, yeah, this call is recorded too. So I've got a couple of the group calls. I know I've got to upload some of those into the community too. So yeah, this one I've got Wednesdays. I'll get those uploaded, and then I'll post the one that I upload today, and then I'll also post the one from Wednesday. Oh shoot, I forgot to. Let me go to if I see where's Wednesday's call. Dang, I should have dropped it earlier when we had everyone in here. But where's the type form? Let's see. Let me go to my posts. Dang, I post a lot. I was trying to find the this form right here. And I know some of you guys filled it out, but if you can, we're gonna start, and I'll send an email out with this, but every week if you guys could definitely post this for just when we're filling out applications, and I'll put this in the chat as well. But it's just something that we use to like make sure we're improving with our application send out and not letting any errors or anything slip through the cracks. But I'll make a post too so we can definitely get that on there. But yeah. Shoot, I forgot what we were talking about before then. But yeah, if you can fill that out, and I would say shoot, we're good to go with your resume. I would start shooting that out, and we'll start applying, and then
All right,
yeah,
thank
just upload yours too. Yeah, you're welcome.
Okay, yeah, I was just asking if the meeting was going to be recorded, but you answered that. And then like what would your script be for a voicemail for a sales prospect? Sorry if my background's
Yeah.
loud.
No, you're good. So I've left a good amount of voicemails. It's kind of tough of like to see if they're worth it or if you get a call back. I've heard like mixed opinions, and what I've tried most recently is being more vague with it. So I used to leave like a whole pitch on the script of like, hey, this is Sharif. I'm calling for X, Y, and Z, da, 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 da. And a lot of times either people don't listen to it, or if they do, it's like, this sounds like a salesperson. So what I did to make it super vague is like, I would just call like, hey, Jamie, this is Sharif. So-and-so, like if you can name drop someone, or like say something of like, it depends on what you're selling, but like if you're selling real estate, I would just be like, hey Jamie, this is Sharif. I saw something about your house. Can you give me a call back? Thanks. And like something super vague to actually make them like be intrigued or interested enough to call you back. Like, what do you mean you saw something about my house? And then I'll just call like, oh yeah, I saw it was on the market. You know, I'm a real estate agent. I'm looking to list it X, Y, and Z, or like even like when I was calling for staffing, like I would reach out and be like, hey, this is Sharif. Yeah, there was something online about the job posting I needed to ask you about. Give me a call back at boom, 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 and then just like leave it. So I would say the shorter the better, and the more brief the better. And like, I won't say be a little misleading with it, but like just be kind of vague to where you're going to make them curious and increase the chances of them actually calling you back. Like, I saw your voicemail. Like, what do you mean? And then you've got your conversation.
Okay, that makes sense. And then would you do the same for like, if I was cold calling a hiring manager to get an interview and they didn't answer and I left a voicemail, like I should still be pretty vague with that as well, right?
Yeah, I mean that could be a little different of like, because I'm not sure how many people are even calling them and letting them know that they applied.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, because I feel like for that you can be a little more straightforward, like, hey, I was calling regarding the job posting. If you could shoot me a call back, like I'd appreciate it. Something like that, because that I feel like most of their calls are all going to be about the job posting. So that's more straightforward for sure. It's their job to call you back anyway. So
Okay, sounds
yeah.
good. Thank you.
Of course, yeah. That one I would say you don't have to be more as aggressive because it's in their best interest to call you back compared to when you're selling something. You usually don't want them to know that they're being sold.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I've had the same experience as you with voicemails. Like whenever I'm making cold calls for real estate, I'll leave all these voicemails and get no call backs. But if I don't leave a voicemail, that's when I start to get call backs because
Yeah,
people want to know
exactly.
who called. But if they hear a realtor called them on the voicemail, and like all other realtors have been blowing them up, they're probably gonna know what it's about.
Yeah.
So yeah. All right, cool. Thanks.
Yeah, of course, you're welcome. And I know, shoot, I saw too. You've been having a bunch of interviews, so keep killing it. Congrats on all the interviews and results.
Yeah, thank you. I finished like a final round with one company 2 days ago, but and I really thought I was gonna get it. I sent them a Loom video following up, thanking them for the opportunity, and then I heard back from them today that I didn't end up getting it. And
Dang.
they were hiring 30 SDRs. I feel like,
What?
bro, I should have had like a good ass chance. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Should I like ask for feedback?
Yeah,
I know some recruiters don't really give it,
yeah.
but how
I
should
would
I
say if you
ask?
can, I would just ask like, hey, um, I would love if you could just give me some feedback and let them know like, you wouldn't mind like continuing to be like in their systems or like in the running like for future roles.
Mm-hmm.
Because so right now I'm in like a ed tech role at a startup, but I was before a SDR at this company called InstaWork for maybe 6 or 7 months. And I originally got hired in August for InstaWork as an SDR, but my first time interviewing with them was in like January of last year. And originally I got to the third round and I messed up on the like mock script and I didn't get offered. But
Mhm.
I had all those recordings and then I had a decent relationship towards the end, like with the recruiter. I went through a different recruiter again, but I asked for feedback and I knew why I didn't get it. And then I as well, like I had the recordings. So come August, when I interviewed again, I literally had like a cheat sheet because I knew exactly what they were looking for in every interview. And I knew what I said to get to like the third round, get to the second round. And then all I had to do was just take the feedback and do the mock script differently. And then I got offered with them and I made some pretty good money with them. So I would say like definitely if you can ask for feedback and just save that info because you never know like down the line you could get hired for them and having that info like now in the recordings will make the world of a difference.
Yeah, that's a good point. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Let's see. Got oh shoot, it's the end of the hour. Any last minute questions before we kind of wrap this one up?
I already filled out that side form for you, sir. Sorry, Brittany, I didn't mean to interrupt
No,
you.
you're good.
Oh no, you're
Thank you.
fine. So I know earlier, I it's okay because I know there was a lot that needed to get done. You mentioned that you would go back over ZocDoc a little bit.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
So
we can check it out. I can probably squeeze out like 5 more minutes. We could check that out for sure. Cause yeah, I know we still got a Wrath in here too, and I know both you guys got an interview with them. Let's see.
I tried searching the company on the rep view, but I haven't left a review, so it says I can't access anything.
Oh, yeah, I got you. Let's see. Shoot.
I just want to wish everybody a good night. You guys have a blessed day, and let's get these jobs, guys.
Let's get it. Okay, here we go. So yeah, ZocDoc. Let's see. Yeah, so we could just we'll check this out, and then if we can do some interview prep like on Wednesday's call. But when we were looking through it, so like SDR 45K base is on the low end, and even like the 60K OTE is still kind of like some of these SDR roles I've seen like base salaries like 60 to 66. But the good thing that we found out about this is their quota attainment is really, really high. Like, especially for like their account executive roles, 72% and 79%. And like they're hitting like six figures is really, really, really high for quota attainment. And once we like kind of dived into the reviews, we saw like this one saying the overall experience was great. upcoming startup, office culture is robust, and puts the staff first. And then this said they have an abundant comp plan, which the one before said that at first they slashed like their previous bonus plan because the team broke the records on like activations or new accounts. So that being said, once we looked at like the overview too, the product market fit was really, really high. I think that maybe that was when you kind of joined in because we started talking about the product market fit and how like that's the most important thing, which even though from the reviews, like at least from this one says that like they after that they kind of cut some of the pay or some of the bonuses isn't the best. It is a really, really good sign of like the product market fit and the solution and the software they're selling is so good that they've had to change things up of like how they pay out on bonuses or how they're doing things because they have so many people buying. So it did look like a pretty good role in terms of like entry level and just learning and getting your foot in the door for software sales. Because that's the most important thing is like if you have an easy product to sell, you can take that experience and you can go anywhere, but you also can get really, really good at like the specifics of the sales process because you don't have to worry about handling a bunch of objections or persuading someone on a solution or something that may not solve all their problems. So that's kind of what we came to the conclusion with ZocDoc.
Okay, thank you. What's under
Yeah.
the tech stack?
So it just lists Salesforce. I usually don't like sometimes companies it'll list like their tech stack. Let's see, Q&A. Are there regular updates to commission structure? How is territory assigned? There are updates. Unfortunately, the updates in 2023 were to give reps 60 cents on the dollar of what they were earning before. And then basically the whole team turned over after that. Back then, everything was national, no territory.
Yeah, I was able to see for some reason it's weird. Like I went through each tab. That tab I was able to open up, but then the rest were blurred out. But yeah, it that that did sound unfortunate, but I'm also looking at where I'm at in my position and I don't have I feel like we're all selling something. So I have in a way in an indirect way been in sales, but this would be a great opportunity for me to grow my skills. And it seems like there's a lot of support there when I compare it to the other company. And then this is definitely more an area I feel like there's more of a passion and I have more confidence because I have worked with different healthcare providers in different ways. And I have my own, personal anecdotal experience as well. So I feel like I can speak to this product more.
Yeah, I think so too. Especially like it says they've got a really good. This is the second time I've seen it on here that like inbound lead flow is really, really good, which also makes your job way easier if you've got people raising their hands that they need the solution. Because yeah, this says that ZocDoc is able to run an inbound only playbook. So yeah, they work really hard. So many inbound leads. Not uncommon for reps to run 13 meetings in a day. But yeah, that is the thing. It says the leader slash commissions nearly in half when reps work this hard and crush quotas, which led to extremely high turnover. But I mean, shoot, it seems like they do have the leverage because they've got such a good product market fit and they've got so many leads coming in. It definitely wouldn't be a bad role for like your first role in tech, just to be able to literally be lined up with people ready to buy a really good solution. And you're just gaining like those constant reps, and experience. And then, yeah, you could take that to somewhere else where you can get more pay for what you're doing.
Okay. And then I have one more question. When I did look at the pay, it said hourly like 23 to 27 on the job description. So if I go in prepared and use some of the strategies that I mentioned with like the 30, 60, 90-day plan, and then even getting some prospects and some scripts and things like that to like ready, Do you think? Not think like I would like to go for that higher amount, even though I don't have a full sales tech background.
Yeah, it depends. I mean, from what I've seen, and it like at least from these 5 reviews, it looks like they're like I don't even see a range on this. It looks like it's pretty set. Obviously, I wouldn't say a number first, and I would kind of ask and like push for the higher end too. But from it just the reviews and like them, like it seems like they're kind of stingy and it's like they're looking to pay less. So it may be a tougher conversation, but I definitely think like the more prepared you are, you can definitely ask for more. And especially if you've got a little bit of like similar background to like the health field, you may be able to warrant like a higher base.
Okay.
Well, shoot, I appreciate you guys for sticking on. This was like 2 hours worth of, I feel like we covered a lot, lots of game, lots of value. And yeah, we'll be on next week. I'll have a lot more of the group calls uploaded, like probably by the end of tonight, into tomorrow night too. And then shoot, in the meantime, guys keep killing it. Like y'all are crushing it. And yeah, I mean, shoot, in the meantime, if you got questions, hit me up on school too. But appreciate you guys, and I hope you guys have a good weekend too.
Thank you
Thanks,
so much.
Sharif. You
Really
too.
appreciate it.
Of course. See you guys.